my flow class. We're going to start standing, do some strength and mobility stuff standing, and then we'll go down to the mat. Going to start with our setup first. So heels come out, toes come out to meet them, just taking a little rock backwards and forwards. And then bringing yourself to a standstill where that weight is evenly balanced between your heel and your toe. Coming up those knees, keeping them nice and soft. Coming up to your pelvis, we're going to take a gentle rock backwards and forwards. Just see how it wants to move today. And then bringing that to a standstill where that tailbone is pointing down to the ground. Restack those vertebrae, grow towards the ceiling. Next, thinking about that pelvic floor. So internal sling of muscles, holding everything in. Going to think about it a little bit like a lift. We're getting in that lift on floor 1, and then we're going to ride it up to floor 10, holding it there. And then slowly, with control, letting it go. And again, up to floor 10, holding it there. And this time, with control, we're going to slowly let it back down until we get to that floor 2 or 3, and that's our 20 to 30%. We're going to hold for the rest of the session. Next, thinking about that TVA, so transverse abdominis, big belt-like muscle. Going to imagine, of course, on a really wide belt, I'm going to draw that belt up to the 10th hole. Then slowly, with control, letting it go. And again, taking it up to the 10th hole. So waist gets smaller, belly button moves towards your spine, holding it there. And then this time, with control, we're going to slowly let it back down until we get to that notch 2 or 3, and that's our 20 to 30%. We're going to hold for the rest of the session. Thinking about breathing there. So wide thoracic, breathing into the sides of that rib cage and the back. Exhaling, reconnecting with that pelvic floor. So we're inhaling up and exhaling down. Trying to make your exhale longer than your inhale. Two more breaths here. And final one. Okay. From here we're going to just start mobilising through our whole body. So we're going to start with our neck, so right ear to right shoulder, and then just taking a little semicircle forward with that neck. So just seeing how it wants to move today. Don't over stretch, so just take it to where you can. And then you're going to bring your head back to the middle, chin to chest. Then you're going to bring it up so it's sitting on top of your shoulders, and then take it to your ceiling. Just let your jaw relax. And then come back to the middle. Going to go back to chin to chest, back to the middle, and then back to the ceiling. Back to chin to chest. Let's do 3 more here. Final 2. And final 1. So this time coming back to the middle, leaving your head in the middle. From here we're going to do some shoulder shrugs. So we're just going to shrug up and then down. So we're going slowly to start with, so just slow, controlled shrugs. Then we're going to go a bit faster. Then we're going to do alternate. So alternate fast and then alternate slow. Really stretching your fingertips down the side of your leg. And again fast. And again slow. Then you're going to bring both shoulders up to your ears And then think about your shoulder blades being squeezed together at the back. Hold it there. And then gently let it off. We're going to do that 2 more times. So you're going to shrug up and squeeze back. Hold it there. And then gently let it off. Final time. Squeeze up. Take it back. Hold it there. And then gently let it off. This time we're going to do one shoulder. So you're going to shrug your right shoulder up, take it back. Then you're going to take your right ear to your right shoulder, and then you're going to look to the ceiling. Hold it there. And then you're going to just let it off. We're going to go the other side. So left shoulder shrugs, take it back. Ear over towards your left shoulder, and then look to the ceiling. And then letting it off. And we're going to go one more time to each side. So shrug the right shoulder, take it back. Ear to shoulder, look to the ceiling. And then bring it back, other side. So left shoulder shrugs, take it back. Ear to shoulder, look up. And then bring it back down, give those shoulders another little shrug. And then we're going to go on to our arms. So taking your fingers, interlacing them, bring your arms above your head. So arms and shoulders. Rib to hip connection, be careful that hasn't disappeared as you brought your arms above your head, and then you're just creating a lovely circle above your head. So this is really good for mobilising through that shoulder joint. Keep your head up nice and tall, so make sure you're not now looking forward. Keep tall, core on, and then taking it in the other direction. Okay, then from here we're going to start to make that circle bigger. So you're going to go over to the left, lean yourself forward, bring yourself all the way around, then come up with that left elbow all the way around the back, back to the left. So keeping your feet grounded on the floor, you're just going to make a bigger circle with your whole upper body just stretching out through that back and core. Final one here. And then we're going to take it in the other direction. So we're going to go over to the right, bend forward, come up on the left, all the way around the back, back to the right and round to the front. So keep your circle nice and slow. You're just moving through that upper body, just stretching out through all of those muscles in your torso, keeping your shoulder blades melting down your back. Okay, we're going to do one more here. And then bring yourself back to the top, stretching those arms to the ceiling, and then bringing them up and away. Super. From here we're going to go on to our lower half. So we're going to start with a little balance challenge. So if you have a grey block and you wish to use it, you're very welcome to. If not, staying on the floor is fine. And then you're going to come onto your left foot first, standing tall, core engaged, bringing your right foot out in front of you, and we're going to start with that semicircle. So we're just opening up through that hip, keeping your hips facing forward, core on, pelvic floor on. Stretching out through that foot. Okay, final one here. And then bring that leg back to the front. From here, you're going to bring that knee up. Core engaged, standing tall. We're going to do 6 little raises. 3, 2, 1. Taking it out to the side, 6 raises. 3, 2, 1. Bring it round to the back, core on, don't lean forward, push back. 3, 2, 1. Bring it back to the front, repeating. 6, standing tall. 3, 2, 1. Out to the side, core on, holding it there. Then round to the back, push back. 2, 1. Bring it back to the front, final set. Out to the side, core on, final set. 1, round to the back, push back. 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring that leg back to the front, holding it there. Going to bring your arms up. We're going to rotate through that mid-spine. So we're just going to bring one elbow back and then back to the center. So keep your hips facing forward, core engaged. Just a gentle rotation to the side. So don't move too quickly, either you'll probably find you lose your balance. I think shoulder blades melting down your back. Let's do one more to each side. And then you're going to step off the block and you can bring yourself back down. Okay, if you were standing on a block, remember, looking at your footprint, you're trying to make a nice even heel and toe, flipping the block over, and we're going to go on to the other side. So this time, right foot is on the block, left leg is coming out in front of you, and we're going to start with that semicircle. So again, growing towards the ceiling, chin lifted, core on, ribs in line with your hips. You can use your arms if you need them for now. Opening up through that hip, final one here. Bringing that leg back to the center, lifting that knee, 6 little raises. Out to the side, 6 raises. 2, 1, round to the back, core on, push back. 2, 1, and back to the front, core engaged, lifting. Out to the side, core on, lift. Round to the back, core on, push back. And back to the front, final set. 2, 1, out to the side. Round to the back, push back. 3, 2, 1, back to the front, holding it there, bringing your arms up in front of you, and we're going to rotate. Just a little rotation through that mid-spine, keeping everything else nice and still. Thinking belly button to spine, standing tall. I always find with this one, the taller you kind of stand, the easier that rotation is. She says that she wobbles off to the side. One more to each side, doing really well. Really working into that ankle and supporting leg here. Then gently off to the side, give those ankles a little wiggle. Picking up your block, having a little look at your footprint, nice heel and toe. And then placing your block back somewhere where it's out of the way so you're not going to stand on it. If you have a resistance band, that's going to come in handy later on, so just place that where you can get hold of it. should have said that at the start, sorry guys. And we're going to come into some frog squats next, so really deep work into our legs and glutes. So you need to come into a wide squat stance, thinking about your pelvis next. Try not to lean your body forwards and stick your pelvis out the back, so bum out the back. I want you to think about coming down into a chair that's underneath you. Pelvis stays underneath you, so we're working those glutes. Knees are staying behind your toes. If they're in front of your toes, you need to take your feet wider. Then from here, we're going to come down a bit lower, and we're going to do 5 little frog jumps. 3, 2, 1, and then you're going to push yourself hard back to the ceiling. So the coming up is going to be quicker than the going down. What I don't want you to do is what I just did and hold onto your legs, so you kind of push with your upper body. I want you to bring your arms in front of you so that you're using those legs to accelerate you back up to standing. So it's all leg power, no upper body help, okay? So you can interlace your fingers or you can bring your arms out in front of you, have them wherever you want. We're coming down into our squat, and then we're going to go lower for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Push yourself back to the ceiling. Down into that chair, and 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and push yourself back to the ceiling. Doing really well. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Push yourself back to the ceiling and down, and pulse. Core on, shoulder blades melting down your back, and push. We are halfway there. You're doing so well. 3, 2, 1, and push. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and push. Final 2. Doing really well. You can do this. 3, 2, 1, and push. Final time. 3, 2, 1, and push back to the ceiling. Give those legs a little wiggle. Give yourself a pat on the back. Going to do a nice quad stretch now. So you're going to hold on to something if you want to. You don't have to. Pick up that left foot to left bum, and then just take that left knee back slightly so you can feel that stretch in the front of your leg, holding it there. And then bring that leg down, swapping to the other side, picking up that foot. These frog squats always get my heart rate going. And bring that foot down, just giving those ankles a little walk. And we're going to move on to our roll downs with press ups now. So we're going to do 4 roll downs, all with a press up, tricep, press up mixture. Now we're going to do up to 5 of each. If 5 is too many, just reduce it down to what you feel comfortable with, or start with 5 and then go to 2 or 1 or something. Just play with it, see how you feel. Don't exhaust those arms because we have an arm exercise to come. So core on, legs are underneath you, taking an inhale at the top. Exhale, tucking your chin, leading with the crown of your head. Nice, slow, controlled roll down to the mat. So we're going straight into our press ups today. So when you get to the bottom, heels stay on the floor for as long as possible. Take that calf stretch, walking yourself out into your press up position. Then from here, if you want to, you can bring both knees to the floor. Make sure your pelvis stays in front of your knees, and we're doing 5 press ups. So core on, don't sag in the middle. We've got 2 more to go. 1, and then bring your knees to the floor unless you're really hardcore and like tricep press ups in a full press up position. It's not for me. And we're going to bring those elbows back next to your body, so you should feel like it's more challenging, because it is. keeping those elbows next to your sides. Final 2 and final 1. Then feet back to the floor, walking your hands in, find your feet, legs come to straight, take an inhale, and then exhale, tucking that pelvis back underneath you, ribs stay connected to your hips, and re-stack back to standing. Remember, you're just letting your arms hang, so you shouldn't feel like you need to roll your shoulders when you get to the top. They should already be in place. Okay, final 2, inhaling at the top. Exhale, tucking that chin, slow, controlled roll to the floor. I think I said we were going to do 4 actually, so this is actually our final 3. So coming into your press up position, remember knees to the floor if you need it, down for 5. And 2, and 1. And then bring your knees to the floor, core engaged, tricep. 3, 2, 1. And then knees, feet back to the floor. Extend through those legs, taking an inhale. And then exhale. Slow, controlled roll to the top. Okay, final 2, taking an inhale, exhale, nice gentle roll down, mobilizing through all of those vertebrae as you go, and then walking out into your plank position. Knees to the floor if you need it, core engaged. Remember, up to 5, so if you need to, start reducing it down. If you're finding you've lost some of your form, then just start reducing that number. Knees to the floor, core engaged. Here we go. And then feet to the floor, walking your hands in, finding your feet, legs come to straight, take an inhale, and then exhale. Arms are just hanging, don't feel like you're holding them in place, and we're going to re-stack back to standing. Okay, final time, so this time we'll stay at the floor, inhaling at the top. Exhale. Gentle roll down to the mat. Heels stay on the floor for as long as possible. Take that nice little calf stretch into your press up position. Core engaged, head forward, elbows backwards for up to 5. Then coming down into your tricep press up, core on, elbows grazing your body, core on, so make sure you're not sagging in the middle. 2 and 1, and then coming off those wrists, bring your fingertips together and then just push them out. Nice little wrist stretch. Ooh, can't keep my little fingers together, keeps swiveling off each other. Final one here. Okay, so next we're going into our swan dive. So if you do have a band, it's going to come in handy. If you don't have a band, don't worry, you can do this without a band, but we're going to add in a little extra arm exercise with the band. So you need a little bit of space on each side because you're going to extend your arms out. Then what you're going to do is just lay the band in front of you. So work out where you'll need to grab it, because we're going to do 4 normal first and then we will add in the arm extension. So next, thinking about your setup, so remember feet are turned in, so those glutes are off, arms are coming, so your elbow is just in front of your shoulder, eye line stays down at the floor. Holding it here, going to take an inhale. I'm going to exhale. Head, neck and shoulders come off the floor. Make sure you haven't brought your head up. Remember, nice long neck. Holding it here for an inhale. And exhale. Slowly with control back to the mat. Holding at the bottom for an inhale. And exhale. Back up to the top. Holding here for an inhale. And exhale. Back to the floor. And final two here. Inhale at the bottom. Exhale. Holding at the top. Remember, all the work is coming from that upper back and not the lower back, so there should be no pinching in that lower back. So final time. Sliding those shoulder blades down your back, holding it there for an inhale. And exhale, lower to the mat. So we're going to do the same thing this time, but you're going to pick up the band. You need some band in the middle to play with, so don't make it too difficult. You're going to come up with your head, neck and shoulders. You're going to raise your arms off the ground, and then you're going to gently pull that band out. Slowly let the band come back to the middle, and then lower. If you don't have the band, you'll just do the arms without the band, okay? And if you find that the band is too tricky, go back to just doing it without the band. So we're going to do 5 of these. So core on, holding at the bottom. Exhale, lift. Inhale, pick up the band. Exhale, arms out. Holding for another inhale. And then exhale, back to the mat. Okay, so here we go. Inhale at the bottom. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lift your arms. Exhale, arms out and in. Inhale, hold. Exhale, lower. Inhaling at the bottom, core engaged. Exhale, lift. Inhale up. Exhale, out and in. Inhale, arms lower. Exhale, take your head, neck and shoulders back. Okay, we have three more to go. Completely losing track of numbers today, guys. Sorry about that. I think we're 3 more to go. If you think different, if you think it's lower, it's always lower, then do what you feel is right for you today. So final 2 here. Really stretching out that band and then slowly releasing it back in. If you find that too hard to do in one exhale, you can add it as 2. That's fine. So add in an extra breath if you need it. So I make this our final one, down to the mat. Then from here we're going to go into a really nice chest stretch. So you're going to leave your left arm in your swan dive position. You're going to bring your right hand next to your right shoulder, look to the right. You're going to bring your right leg up into the air and then take your right leg over to the left hand side of your body. Feel that stretch through your chest and potentially in your hip as well, holding it there. And coming back to the middle, swapping sides, so right arm into your swan dive position, left hand next to your shoulder, bringing your left foot up into the air, then taking that left foot over to the right hand side of your body, holding it there. And bring that leg back down. We're going to go into our child's pose next. So you're just Bringing your knees out wide, stretching yourself back in between those knees, holding it there. And then coming back up, moving your band so it's out of your way. And we're going to go on to a side kick next. Now I'm going to give you two options and then you can pick the option that's right for you. So first option, option one, you're going to come onto your side. You're going to be on your elbow, so if you need something more protective under there, something softer, just placing a cushion there. Making sure your elbow and hip are in alignment, bending that top leg. Make sure your front knee is also on something soft because you're going to roll your weight towards that front knee. Then you're going to pick up your top leg and you're going to take your heel and place it in front of the other foot. From here we're going to roll our bodies forward onto that knee and make like an arch shape. So I think it's easier if you bring your other arm over the top, but you can keep it in front of you if you want to. So taking an inhale to prepare, and then you're going to exhale, come up onto that side. So core engaged, you're making like a rainbow type shape. Core on, make sure you're not sagging in the middle, really push that top hip towards the ceiling, hold that arm over your head. We're going to hold it here for an inhale, and then exhale, gently bring yourself back to the floor. Imagine your floor is covered in feathers. You don't want any of the feathers to move, so it's a nice light touch back to the floor. So that's your option one. Option two is with a straight leg. So you bring your legs out. The top leg again is sitting in front of the bottom leg. You're going to stretch yourself up and bring your knees off the floor. So again, you're creating this rainbow shape. Make sure you're not sagging in the middle, rib to hip, holding for an inhale. Exhale, gently lowering yourself back to the mat. So you can pick which one you want to do, and we are going to do 5. So core engaged, holding at the bottom for an inhale, and then exhale, bringing yourself up, holding it there, and then exhale, gently lowering yourself back down to the ground. Check in with your shoulder, make sure it's staying over your elbow. If it's being pushed further away, you might find that you need to adjust your elbow slightly. So mine was, so I'm going to go this way, adjust myself slightly. Core engaged, inhale, and then exhale, coming up, holding it there, and then exhale, slowly back to the mat. So that was 2, we have 3 to go. Core on, inhale, and then exhale, pushing yourself back up, holding it there, rib to hip connection, and then exhale, gently back to the mat. Holding at the bottom for an inhale, final 2, doing really well, and exhale, up, hold it there, and then exhale, gently back to the mat. Final time, inhaling to prepare, and exhale, coming up, really using those obliques to keep you lifted, and gently back to the mat. Okay. Going to go over to the other side. So again, thinking about your setup. So something under your elbow if you need it. Feet are out. I'll show you the option 1 again. So elbow and hip are in a line. Front foot is down in front of the bottom leg. Remember, you can have that hand in front, but I think it's nicer with that arm over your head. Core engaged, inhaling to prepare. And then exhale, lifting, taking your weight forward onto that knee. Hold for an inhale. And then exhale, gently back to the floor, or extended legs. Hold for an inhale. Exhale, coming up into that kind of side plank position. Hold for an inhale. And then exhale, gently back to the mat. Here we go, 5 to come. Taking an inhale at the bottom, exhale. So as you come up, especially if you're in your high version, just check in with your neck, make sure that you're keeping your head in alignment, belly button to spine, core engaged. Here we go. Hold at the top. And then exhale, gently back to the ground. 3 to go, doing really well. Holding at the top. Gently back to the mat. Final 2, inhale, exhale, holding at the top. And then exhale, gently back down, final time, core on, exhale. And then just coming off those arms, I'm going to just do a nice arm stretch. So you can come to sitting either in cross-legged or in diamond if that's more comfortable. I'm going to bring both arms out in front. You bring your right arm across the top of your left arm and then just pull that arm in with your left arm. Make sure you're not on the elbow joint. And then bringing both arms out in front. Bringing your left arm over your right arm, pulling it in. Make sure you're not on that elbow joint. And then bringing the arm down, just give those shoulders a little wiggle. And we're going to go on to rolling like a ball next. So you need a bit of space behind you. Make sure there's nothing there, no cushions, nothing in the way. And then you're going to come to the end of your mat. Now we're going to try and put in a little clap today with our heels. So going to try and turn it into our seal. So you're holding on to the front of your shin. You're going to tuck your chin in, so it's really important that you're protecting that neck. So tucking your chin in, making yourself into a ball-like shape. Taking an inhale, then you're going to exhale. Roll yourself back. Remember, the weight's coming onto your shoulders, not onto your neck, and then you're going to roll yourself back up without your feet touching the floor. Hold it here for an inhale. Exhale, roll back and up, holding it there. Inhale, exhale, roll back, inhale, roll up, holding it there. Okay, so next time we're going to try and put in a little clap. So we're going to do 5 little taps of our ankles together. So hold for an inhale, exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and back we go again. So this is a really nice exercise for your spine. It's a nice little massage for it. It's also a really good core exercise because you're having to use your core muscles to stop your feet from touching the floor. We're going to do 3 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And if you want to, you can bring your knees open. So you come into your open leg rocker if you want to. So just bring those knees slightly open and then come back and up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And again, 2 more here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And final time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then bring those feet back down to the mat. Well done. So that was our, well, it was kind of like 3 exercises in one that time. So we did a little bit of open leg rocker, a little bit of seal, and a rolling like a ball to start with. Coming onto our backs next, we're going to just do 1 exercise at a time. So you're coming down onto your back, and we're going to start with a little hip roll. So feet are staying hip distance apart, ribs in line with your hips, core engaged, little gap remains under that low back. Arms are just gently resting on the floor. Going to take an inhale here. Then you're going to exhale. And just slowly let your legs roll over to the left hand side. Now your hip can roll off the floor, your feet can roll to the outside, but your shoulder blades must stay on the floor, holding it here for an inhale, and exhale. Bringing those legs back to the centre, holding in the centre for an inhale, and exhale. Moving in the other direction, hold it there for an inhale. Remember, shoulder blades must stay on the floor, and exhale. Back to the middle, holding in the middle for an inhale, and exhale. Other side. So as you go to the side, just check in with your rib to hip connection. Make sure you're not arching your back and letting those ribs flare up. Hold for an inhale, exhale. Back to the centre. We're going to do one more to each side. So this is our final one. Bring those feet back to the middle. From here we're going to go into our shoulder bridge. Now if you do have a band, you can use the band for one of the exercises we're doing in our shoulder bridge. So feet and knees together if you are putting a band on. Just doing your band up in a nice bow so you can get out of it. Needs to be about a hand's width away from your knee so we're not putting any added pressure on that knee joint. So placing that band on. Don't worry if you don't have a band, it's just going to add a bit of extra resistance, but it's not necessary if you don't have one, it won't matter too much. So core engaged, taking your feet, if you're not in a band, to hip width apart. If you are in a band, just to where you can with the band. Core on, arms are just gently resting on the floor. Going to take an inhale at the bottom. Exhale, tucking that pelvis and slowly rolling yourself up into your bridge. When you get to the top of your bridge, remember rib to hip connection, weight is in your shoulders, not in your neck, and you're creating a ski slope. From here, you're going to bring your arms over your head just to where you can, where it's still comfortable. Any shoulder injuries, just be careful with this one. Maybe don't take your arms over your head. Holding for an inhale. And then exhale, we're going to slowly lower back to the floor, one vertebrae at a time. So it's a nice slow, controlled roll back to the floor. Rolling back into neutral, bring your arms back down, holding here for an inhale, and again exhale, tucking that pelvis, roll yourself up into your bridge position. Remember, weight is in your shoulders, not in your neck. Arms over your head, core on, holding it here, and then exhale, slowly one vertebrae at a time, coming back down to the mat. Keep that pelvis up for as long as you can, and then rolling back into your neutral, arms come back down. So this time we're going to move on to legs, and we're going to do 5 little pulses higher. So inhaling at the bottom, exhale, tucking that pelvis, rolling yourself back up into your bridge, holding at the top, and then we're pushing higher for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold for an inhale and exhale. Slowly, with control, rolling yourself back down to the mat, keeping that pelvis up for as long as you can. Rolling back into your neutral, take an inhale here. And exhale, tucking that pelvis again, rolling yourself back up into your bridge, holding at the top, and then pushing higher for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold for an inhale, and exhale, gently back to the mat, one vertebrae at a time. Oh dear, excuse me. Okay, so next, final 2 shoulder bridges. This time we're going to take those knees out to the side. So this is where the band comes into play. Remember, if you don't have a band, don't worry. Going to take an inhale at the bottom. Exhale, tucking that pelvis, rolling yourself up into your bridge. Holding it here, make sure you keep your hips lifted, and then we're taking those knees out to the side for 5, 4, 3, 2, and final 1. Bring them back to the middle, core engaged, hold for an inhale, and then exhale, slowly, with control, rolling down 1 vertebrae at a time. Keep that pelvis up for as long as you can. Rolling into your neutral, hold for an inhale. Exhale, rolling back up into your bridge, hold at the top, and then you're going to push out for 5, 4, 3, 2, and final 1. Holding it here for an inhale, and then exhale, gently lowering yourself back down to the mat, 1 vertebrae at a time. Nice slow controlled roll down, rolling back into your neutral. If you have the band, ditching the band. And we're going to do a single leg lift this time. So taking an inhale at the bottom, exhale, tilting that pelvis, rolling up into your bridge. Core engaged, making sure your hips stay still. You're going to just slide that leg away and then bring it up into the air. Bend that leg, bring it back down to the floor. Other side, so you're sliding that leg away, bring it up into the air. Bend at the knee, back to the floor. All the time you're staying in your bridge, so make sure you don't sag and kind of go lower. Think about those glutes, make them work for you. So slide that leg away, bring it up and bend back to the floor. Slide that leg away to the air, bend back to the floor. Taking an inhale, exhale, back to the mat. Okay, going to do one more like that. So taking an inhale at the bottom, exhale, rolling back up into your bridge, holding at the top, core on. Here we go. So you're sliding away, up, bend, back in, sliding away, up, bend, back in. Final time, slide away, up, bend, back in, core on, keeping everything else nice and still, just those legs working, holding at the top for your final inhale, exhale, keeping that pelvis lifted as you roll gently back to the mat. Super, giving yourself a full body stretch. And then we're going to come into our hamstring stretch. So if you have that band, it's again going to come into play here. Left leg is going, so your foot is flat on the floor. Going to bring your right foot up into the band. Now remember, the band is around the back of your foot, not around your toes. And then you're just going to pull that band in and hold it there. So if you don't have a band, you're holding onto the back of your calf or the back of your thigh, holding it there. So then from here, you're going to point your toes at your face, bring it a little bit closer. Then placing the band into your left hand, you're going to guide that leg over to the left hand side. Now if you don't have a band, you're just going to hold on to that leg in place, holding it there. And just see if you can bring it a little bit closer. And bring that band back to the middle, or leg back to the middle. Letting that leg fall out to the right hand side. Again, if you don't have a band, you're just supporting your leg from underneath, keeping your hips on the floor. Holding it there a little bit longer. And bringing that leg back to the middle, opening the band up if you're using a band, other heel in the band, other foot flat on the floor, pulling that band in or holding on to your leg, holding it there for me. So you bring it a little bit closer, point those toes at your face. Remember, if you get a fizzy foot, you've gone too far, let it off a little bit. And placing that band into your right hand, guide it over to the right hand side of your body. So you should feel this in the outside of your leg. Now if you don't have a band, you're just holding onto that leg, hold it there. Holding there a little bit longer. Then bringing that back to the bringing that band back to the middle. Ugh, can't get my words out. Putting that band into your left hand and letting it fall out to the left hand side, keeping your right hip on the floor. Remember, if you don't have a band, you're just supporting that leg from underneath, holding it there. Make sure you're breathing into your stretches. Holding there a little bit longer. Then bring that leg back to the middle, bringing the band off your foot and giving yourself another full body stretch. I'm going to roll back up to sitting, and our final little exercise is going to be our Russian twist. So this is a really good core and oblique exercise. So we've done quite a bit of oblique work today. So you're coming to sitting up nice and tall on those sit bones. Feet are hip distance apart, core engaged. If you want to, you can use an object, but you don't have to. I'm going to take an inhale at the top. Exhale, tuck your chin, tilt your pelvis, take yourself back to where you can feel those core muscles are working, but you're not really shaky. Then from here, we're going to turn to the side, place the object down, come back to the middle. Go back, pick it up, back to the middle. So you're rotating through that mid-spine, keeping that core activated as well. So you're keeping your body leant back as you turn, keeping your chin tucked so you're not putting any extra pressure on your neck. And we're going to do one more to each side here. Okay, then from here we're going to find our way to our knees. So coming onto your knees. Now if your knees don't like being knelt on, you can just place something soft under your left knee, and then you're taking a big step forward. Tucking that pelvis under, slide those sit bones down, move your hips forward so you're stretching out through that hip flexor. Remember, keep your chest lifted, don't bend forward either. You'll take the stretch out, holding it there. Then coming back to both knees again, swapping so that cushion is under your other knee. Big step forward with that other foot, tuck that pelvis under, and then you're pushing those hips forward, holding it there. Then from here, coming back to both knees, I'm going to do a nice calf stretch. So hands to the floor, tucking your toes under. You're going to push your weight backwards into your heels. Take that stretch through your calves. Then slowly walking your hands back in, taking an inhale, and then exhale, slowly restacking those vertebrae back to standing. Okay, feet are underneath you. You're going to bend your knees, bring your right arm up and over, either onto the side of your left leg or under your left foot. Then bring your left arm into the air and pull your right shoulder back to the ceiling. Then both arms to the floor, restack back to standing. We're going to go in the other direction. So left arm up and over, bend those knees either onto the side of your right leg or under your right foot. Left shoulder pulls back to the ceiling. And both arms back to the floor, pushing through your feet back to standing. Core engaged. We're going to take an inhale. Bring those arms up and then exhale. Push all the way. Bring those arms back down. Two more like this. So inhale. And exhale down. Final one, inhale up. And exhale down. And then we're going to leave it there for today. Thank you for joining me for my flow class. I hope you really enjoyed it. Take care, have a super day, drink plenty of water, and I'll see you again very soon. Bye for now.